Hello! Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, one moment. I need to close my own main Twitch window. Go back to the chat window. Skip this incredibly loud and long intro sequence and say, hello, I'm back. I've returned. Hello, we have a cat does Twitch. We have a good round boy. Hello, hello, hello. I am back from outer space. No. From being sick, from going to Canada, from various things here and there, I have returned to stream this game once again for myself and for you lovely people. I'm back. I've had what I would describe as the typical Monday, because I think for months now I have come online every Monday and said, hey, I'm wiped out, and today sucked. So, you know, it's very Garfeldian. But I mean, I just have to face facts. If I stream, it's after a Monday that I didn't like. I think that's just how that works now. So maybe I'll start mentioning when it's a Monday of note, which is to say a Monday that's good before I stream. Maybe that's what I should be talking about. But it also means that tonight might not be the full 2 hours. We will see what happens. I'm wiped out. I'm in pain. I'm short-tempered. And this game wants me to talk a lot and read out a lot. Well, it doesn't want me to talk. I should own up to that. I feel compelled to talk because this game is text-rich and because this is streaming. That's just kind of how that works, I think, for me. But yes, it'll be the stream that it is for as long as it is. I'm admittedly kind of over this game as well. I'm not as hyped as I could be, and it's because it is a long-ass game. From a streaming, having to read everything out perspective, it's got heft, and a lot of it feels sort of dithering and world-buildy in a way that doesn't interest me particularly. I'm sure for some people this game is incredible, and there are parts of it that I really like, but I'm really keen to just get to the meat of it and move on, instead of flipping pages in this digital novel by just pressing X a whole bunch. Cat does Twitch. Glad to hear that you're good. Glad to hear that you and PR are chilling. Good round boy. Oh, new job. Yes, I completely whiffed on congratulating you the other night about new job, but congrats, new job. Good to hear it. Super good to hear it. And they do indeed tend to come with a lot of new paperwork. All right. I'm going to hit go. It's 7:07. Under Crafty's advice, who has been both crafty and devious and has looked ahead at the branching narrative of this game, it is in my best interests to have a save file ready to go before the narrative branches, which is going to be at the start of the last act. My choice is basically every time we go to a new location for a new thing, I think I'm just going to save and just build up a lot of saves. The likelihood of me wanting to replay new endings, or different endings I should say, is pretty slim at this point, but who knows, maybe I'll get so hyped, maybe I'll actually fuck up and want to see the ending I genuinely want as opposed to the ending that I got. We'll see how it handles things. Let's hit up and continue. I don't think this is right. Hang on. This doesn't look right. Where are my saves at? Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 3, Chapter 3, Chapter 3, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, Chapter 2. Okay, yeah, that continue was terrible. Melody, okay. I called this Melody. Are we trying to find somebody named Melody? Are we in Melody's place? How melodious. Let's load it. Load it up. Load it up and see what happens. Oh, I'm at home. Oh, I have to go to Melody's place. Oh, okay. That must be it. Or I have to visit somebody named Melody, presumably an existing location. Is this a game that shows me old conversations? Is there a chat log? No. Alright. Items, is that going to give me any clue? Oh, I traded somebody for an umbrella? Yeah. I don't know, man. Alright. Matt. Okay. Flower mansion. Did we not already... Didn't that already... Hang on. Stardust Club. Home. Haven't we already been here? Isn't this where we broke in? Maybe not, because it's a mansion. Whoa, yeah, okay, this is new. Alright. Alright, Turing. Lead us in. Okay, so something wrong. Hey, we're here. Can you focus, Turing? Yep, never taking the dickhead option. What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Snags or flags? Let's talk it out.
Wool gathering. I see we've arrived at the Melody Flores residence. It's quite impressive.
Okay, yep. Melody Flores.
But that's to be expected, considering that she is still the majority owner of the Flower Cybernetics Group, despite retiring from day-to-day operations at the company. I wonder how she and Hayden first began working together.
I mean, given that it's been, you know, month and a half, something like that, since we last played, I don't mind this over-exposition now, because I'm starting to piece together why we're here.
Sorry. Back on task. Is there anything you'd like to know before we head inside?
Everything. About anything. Rundown, Melody, Yannick. He and Melody are falling out. I don't remember who Yannick was. Alright, give me a rundown.
Flower Cybernetics was established in the early 2000s by Melody's mother, Antonella. It started out developing cutting-edge medical tech, including advanced prosthesis and nanoparticle diagnostic and treatment technologies. They were vastly successful when they perfected the first synthetic nerve mesh, allowing direct connection and control between the nervous system and a cybernetic prosthesis.
Okay, that's cool. That's interesting.
The majority of their early projects were defense technologies for the American military.
Well, that's, you know, that's good writing, because that's not uncommon.
Developing ruggedized military prosthesis for use on injured soldiers, and then eventually electively for special forces. This research line culminated in the development of brain-controlled androids as shock troops, long since barred by international law. Melody took over the company from her aging mother, and she fought against developing further military hardware from that point on. She pushed the company to use the BCA technology for the company's original goals of medical advancement, as well as developing the first direct link virtual reality implants.
Okay, so it's kicking off the VI tech.
The company is largely successful on a global scale, despite continued legislative movement against extensive cybernetic use, especially brain implants.
Okay, tell us about Melody.
Not a whole lot. She's largely private, in contrast to her mother's penchant for courting a media circus. Several biographies of former Flower executives show her as intensely passionate about demilitarizing the company to the point of absolute viciousness in the boardroom. But
Well,
it's been a long time
I'm all for
since her days of
demilitarization.
fighting for the company, and she's since stepped away from the helm. There's talk that she's lost her spine in her old age, but...
Oh, we have a place of old. Hello. Hello, place of old.
Well, I take that with a grain of salt.
AI bots.
She may have retreated from the corporate battlefield, but you don't change the entire direction of a company as large as Flower if you're a quitter. Stay on your toes.
Okay. Yeah, remind me who the fuck
and
Yannick
I
is.
can't shine much light on that. I know that System 1 worked with Flower to help develop the first operating systems for the direct link virtual reality implants, so perhaps it happened during that time. Also, Flower eventually went with a different company for future models of the implant, but there was never any public talk of a personal falling out between the heads of the companies.
Oh, Yannick Starlight. Is that it? The other Supercorp individual.
I'll scrape the mesh
One we
for
met in
more
hospital.
rumors, but they'll only be that, rumors. I can do my best to parse fact from fiction, but it blurs too much for me to be sure what's real. No
All right,
time
let's do it.
like the present, then.
Alright, what do we got? Window, plant, mansion door, doorbell, plant, window, plant. Bear statue, bear statue. Alright, let's be direct. Let's hit it. Whoa! They've augmented a bear? That's pretty cute. That's a cute touch. Does the yawn mean follow?
Your guess is as good as mine. Mine says we can go in.
I'd say that.
Should we?
Yeah. Straight up.
Oh, wow! Swanky!
Huh.
What?
Yeah, define swanky in this context.
I have been trying to increase my usage of colloquialisms. Is swanky too out of date?
I literally wouldn't know.
It's certainly before my time.
Oh, Ms. Flores! Excuse us for the intrusion. My name is Turing, and...
Oh, I know who you are.
Dun dun dun.
I can explain. I know you don't like Dr. Fairlight very much, but I assure you there's a situation...
Dr. Fairlight.
Fairlight? I didn't realize Hayden's research had become a charity case. Though I suppose little boy Yannick will throw money at anything that raises his profile on the mesh.
Wait, you know Hayden? Also, we actually only just met Dr. Fairlight yesterday.
Oh, that's too bad. Now Pat won't have to eat you.
What?
I like Pat. I like this bear.
Though I'm not sure your gears would have been good for his digestion.
Well, no, there would be some gears, perhaps, in Turing, but, you know, I don't think as many as that statement implies. Are we back online? Am I back? Let me know when I'm back, please. Both microphone and audio and gameplay being broadcast. Good. That's what it says. I'm back? Okay, cool. I made the mistake of trying to move the controller, which disconnected it again.
Well, either way,
I shan't do that
he's on
in
a
the future.
diet. This philosophy is how I lead my life. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear, well, he eats you. Do you understand?
Not really.
Look, I don't have all day to entertain you, Turing, nor your new friend. Not even for Hayden. You don't have time to waste if you're going to find him, either.
Right.
Well, this woman I just met seems pretty savvy about the entire mystery. Gardening ROM, planter, melody, teapot, strawberries, ROM, room control, pat, cat, fainting chair, melody. I'm actually interested in the gardening ROM. A Malcolm model ROM is tending to the garden. Don't worry, they're just trimming that bush. Okay. I wasn't worried. Not really. At all. Look at room control. Room control monitor is fixed on the back wall of the room. Temperature is set so low, it's freezing. Okay. What's playing? The latest episode of Media Blitz is going into the sordid details of a new teen actor's island love affair with a local politician's daughter. I could not care less. Pat! What's up, Pat?
Melody keeps unusual company. Ursus maritimus, if I'm not mistaken. That might be why the temperature controls are set so low in here.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yep.
I wasn't aware you knew the scientific name of the species. Ooh, has my interest in proper nomenclature started to rub off on you?
He's a white bear touring. What else can you do?
Plenty! Have you heard of a Kermode bear, also known as a spirit bear? Or he could be a white-phased black bear, or even a pizzly. But he's not. It's a polar bear.
Ah, let's chat. Okay. Yeah, let's look at the kitty. The most regal-looking robotic cat in the world sits prim and proper on the fainting chair. All right, Melody. Let's do the Melody Flores, nanomachine heiress, and the owner of the Flower Cybernetics Corp. Sorry, the word nomenclature. I love it, and so the fact that it was used had me thinking about it more than nanomachines. Oh, Place of Old wants me to pat. Cat does switch, pointing out they have auged him, but not to speak. Well, I mean, whatever the augments are, do we presume that they're giving the bear sentience? And even if Pat was sentient, does that mean that Pat would have the ability to speak? Pat is Melody's butler, not yours. He will offer service when and only his mistress permits. Okay. So no Pats. Alright, Melody.
If you were one of Fairlight's worker bees, you wouldn't have made it through the door. So why are you here to badger me about poor Hayden?
You have me at a disadvantage, Ms. Flores. You seem far ahead of us on this matter.
Just call me Melody, darling. And of course. But I'll share a secret or two with you.
I have so many questions. Do you know what's happened to Hayden?
I wish I didn't. Maybe you don't want to either.
Please, Melody,
She has
any
answers.
information you might have. We haven't had access to any of his research notes, and couldn't track down any collaborators he may have been working with. Perhaps if we know more, we might be able to nail down a solid motive.
Well, I don't know if I can speculate on that, beyond the usual corporate infighting. Not that Parallax is known for that, of course. We had been catching up recently, and he mentioned feelings of being watched. He started to worry he had been discussing your development with the wrong people.
I mean, this is provided Melody is telling us the truth, right?
When he stopped returning my calls, and now that you've shown up with a total stranger, it becomes clear what happened.
I see. Can you tell us anything else about his disappearance?
Oh, I'm afraid not, dear. I've been around long enough to know what's coincidence and what isn't.
We were hoping you might be able to shine some light on my origins. Fairlight mentioned that you had worked with Hayden in the past.
I see Hayden didn't neglect curiosity in your personality makeup. Well, you and I haven't properly met, but considering how often Hayden badgered me for design schematics of Flower's latest neural implants, I might as well be your aunt? We'll go with that. I wouldn't mind being an aunt, even to a blue-headed robot.
I'm touched, Melody.
Well then, I'm willing to answer your questions, for now.
Okay, how did you help Hayden with Turing? What's the story between you and Fairlight? Oh, that's it. Okay.
Indeed. I don't see the connection between your company and Hayden's research into machine sapience.
Oh, Hayden wasn't researching machine sapiens. At least not primarily. Not to diminish the importance of your creation, Turing, but it's best you know the truth.
Accidental?
Hayden is mainly interested in developing a way to transfer human consciousness into a machine matrix.
Oh. So he's researching Cartesian dualism.
You can see why neural implants would obviously be an integral part of that.
Oh, I didn't realize.
How would Turing's development help with digitizing the human mind? Can you elaborate on your involvement? Hayden wasn't interested in Turing's development. Yeah, let's go the first one.
The concept of transferring the human mind into a computer has been an attractive goal for decades.
Oh, longer than
Functional immortality is a powerful lure. The brain is an immensely complicated machine, and even though we know the right buttons to push to make pictures show up, we still can't replicate the entire thing as a technological construct.
Nor will you in the way that you conceive of it.
Even with the virtual reality implants, we're really just relying on the brain's ability to make sense of nonsensical signals. So Hayden decided the best way to make a machine more like the human brain would be to work in the opposite direction. Instead of mimicking how the human brain worked, he started writing code that mimicked the functioning of the human mind.
Oh, was that all?
Think of it like convergent evolution. Two species adapt in similar ways, but on completely different continents. Hayden is a crack programmer when it comes to information collating. It's why Parallax hired him when they did. So he wrote a bunch of self-modifying learning algorithms that were, frankly, baffling and let them loose. Poke and prod them here and there to make sure they value the same things humans do. And we eventually end up with you, Turing.
Interesting. Hayden never revealed any of this to me.
I imagine he's pretty tight-lipped. You were the first prototype he considered a real success, and he was afraid of contaminating your development before he had a chance to make good observations.
What's hilarious about this twist discovery on the first stream after getting back from Canada is that my paper was about how contemporary science fiction continues to be obsessed with first-generation cognitive science, which holds that, you know, the mind is separate from the body and thus can be transferred from meat into machine, because the meat is already considered a machine because of the mechanistic metaphor. And I demonstrated how that was true of Soma, which we have played on the stream, and also Transcendence, which I had the misfortune to watch, because I foolishly put it into my abstract before submitting it to the conference. It was a good example, it was just a terrible film, and of course Johnny Depp. But, yeah, the Imperial Raj trilogy is a great example of second-generation cognitive science, which holds that the mind, what we conceive of as mind, is not separate from the body. It is so dependent on it that the idea that you can copy it and place it somewhere else in the way that it's being conceived of here, where you are functionally immortal and it is you being transferred from one spot to another, is just completely preposterous. So to have this game front up and be yet another example of the contemporary thinking in that field, contemporary thinking in fiction that is decades behind scientific and philosophical thinking in a lot of ways on the topic. Yeah, it's novel, because this game is, you know, it only came out a couple of years ago. I mean, granted, so did Soma and Transcendence. Yeah, it's yet another example. How fascinating. So the timing's good, I guess. Elaborate on your involvement. Yeah, sure.
Phew, if you can even call it involvement. It's a small city. And if you're in the tech sector, you are never more than 2 degrees removed from anyone else. When he started looking into this pet project of his, he came right up to my door and demanded access to the research logs behind our earlier implant. Cheeky, but it was impactful and disruptive, as they like to say around here. I couldn't care less about Flowers' patents anymore, so I gave him what he wanted, just to see what he would do. I'm frankly more impressed than I expected I would be, but don't tell him that.
Don't worry. I won't.
Oh yeah, Hayden's dead. How did we find out that Hayden's dead? Because we don't really know what happened to him, but we somehow know that he's dead. I forget.
Oh, that was a compliment, dear.
I mean, to be fair to this game, yes, it's claiming that someone was attempting to do something that is done in Soma and Transcendence. It's not saying that it was done. I did note in chat, Cat does switch saying Turing is Hayden. I mean, Turing hung out with Hayden, so I think if Turing was a copy of Hayden, Turing would know, I suspect. But yeah, this is a story about how somebody wanted to, or people have wanted to do that. People have wanted functional immortality, uploaded brains, and someone dicking around in the field decided, hey, what about I try this way instead, and made a sapient AI robot, which is to say Turing, as a result of trying to tackle a different problem, which actually mirrors a lot of scientific development in AI, in that the broad nebulous goal of strong AI and attempts into that field have led to a lot of incredible technological innovations in the past few decades, none of which have achieved the greater supposed goal, which in and of itself, as I say, is nebulous, but have achieved a lot of small on-the-ground goals that have led to things like, language processing and, if you own a smartphone, you own a lot of tech that is, you hold in your hand a lot of tech that came about because people were attempting, things in the field of AI. Now, also to be fair, the cultural story of they were trying to make an alive computer is almost certainly not true in a lot of cases. It probably was just scientists and engineers with modest goals that they then achieved with very small things, but the larger narrative paints it in a different light. Cat does twitch, residual memories in the brain is trying to justify the download. That would be interesting if Turing is in denial about being Hayden but in a new form. That could be a good twist. Alright. Hayden was invested in Turing's development.
I didn't say that.
Oh, music change.
Hayden was quite interested in Turing, even if he is just a step to further research. In fact, he was preparing to publish his findings involving Turing, and I know it's going to make one heck of a splash in the scientific community. See, the most impressive part about you, Turing, is that you're surprisingly stock.
I assure you, Melody, my construction involves only the latest and greatest in ROM prototype technology.
Exactly. You're not off the shelf, but you're still just a souped-up ROM, more or less like every other one out there. Your personality algorithms are impressive, but they don't require some new space-age technology to work.
Ah, so here we get
Hayden is going to propose that human consciousness transference does not require special brain-like hardware architecture, but merely the right software wrapper to interface with the hardware.
Okay, yeah, so it does actually boil down to this idea that with the right sequence of abstract symbols, the human brain can be perfectly replicated, which is complete tosh.
Much like how you function.
I suppose that is correct.
The TV show Humans had a very similar plot point in season... Well, I mean, it's a major plot point in season 2, but it was revealed in season 1. Spoilers, plug your ears, or pull out your headphones, or what have you. That the consciousness in the androids was was an algorithm, basically, was code. If you put code into these virtual intelligences, you would get an artificial intelligence. You would get somebody that was awake and alive, much the same way that a human is. Yeah. So, again, this converges with other existing contemporary sci-fi texts that boil the human mind down to a string of abstract symbols.
Still, my personality matrices do take up substantial amounts of my processing power. Wouldn't custom hardware have capabilities that better serve such a demanding, specialized task?
Sure. There's still plenty of reason in trying to make a computer that works just like a human brain. Efficiency is an important part of that. But if Hayden can emulate the human mind in existing technology, it means we can start the immortality now, rather than waiting for hardware to catch up with Hayden's software.
Wow, so that's... So it's not even trying to equate the nature of the physical software with the experience and therefore actual existence of the mind. It's saying that you could run it on a shittier ROM, knowing that a better ROM is in the future, but you would still be immortal. So it doesn't matter that running on a different machine, that having a different body, it's... Oh, yeah, wow.
Frankly, I'm not terribly interested in living forever. But there's more than enough people who are.
Thank you for this, Melody.
Thank you for this.
I understand so little of my origins.
Well, I'm sorry I don't know more of the specifics. Hayden kept me up to date on his progress, but only in the vaguest of ways. If you can hunt down his notes, I'm sure they'll tell you more.
Of course, we'll keep looking. Now, perhaps we could ask some other questions?
Sure.
Yeah, so the core premise of this technological conceit, the abstract symbols equal human mind, not just mind, but human mind, is not new. It was not invented by this text, but this game is not saying that it invented it, right? It is taking an existing concept, taking an existing genre choice, and running with it, and that's not unreasonable, it's not unfair. And so it would be foolish of me to kick at this game because it uses that. Because tons of texts lean on the same thing. The overall thing can be kicked at, and this can be used as an example, but it's not the game's fault. Also, there's plenty of sci-fi that I enjoy that can be talked about in a deep way, that has as its novum something completely technologically or philosophically ridiculous, but it's the broader social impact that is interesting. And this game has lots to talk about on the social side of things. Not enough for deep research in the thesis, which is again another reason why I'm not interested in doing all of the endings, because I'm not going to do a deep reading of this particular game. But yeah, I'm saying this out loud, and also, you know, for your guys, for your benefit, if you like, that I'm not trying to be mean to this game, and it would be unfair too, because yeah, plenty of games, plenty of movies, plenty of books do this. They say, well, the human mind is a string of symbols, and thus if we can work out what those symbols are, we can, and you can find anything on which to run said symbols, much like a computer, ta-da, you've got a human mind again, copied. Yeah, and in fact, you know, unpacking that from the perspective of this game would be, you know, wouldn't be great, because it's not the deepest text talking about it. It brings it up, it leans on it, but then it doesn't necessarily dig into that. It just says, oh, well, if we can do this, the game says we can, and then it builds from that. And it's the building from that I should be focusing on. But yes, I did want to bring up the Cartesian dualism, because I do it every time, and because, yeah, it relates to my recent Canada thingy. Alright, fair light, let's go.
Oh, Hell, that old bastard and I have been flashing daggers at each other for the better part of 20 years. I contracted out the software development for our first-gen direct-link VR neural implants to System 1. Things were going great, but after the first models sold like gangbusters, Yannick tried to get into bed with me, literally.
I don't love this conversation, but also saying sold like gangbusters when the word swanky is before her time is an interesting writing choice. It just feels incongruous.
I turned him down, very politely, I might add, and then suddenly all of the cooperation between our companies dried up. We've been at it back and forth ever since. I'd be damned careful about trusting him if I were you.
Well, yeah, he sounds like he sucks.
He's a snake, and he'll do anything he can to get what he wants. Still, I suppose if he tried again now, I might not turn him down. It would be fun to needle him about me still having my own company when he doesn't have his.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting between some unresolved issues between two people that I don't care very much about. I think that's everything we need to know.
I can get back to my retirement.
Yeah, hang out with your bear.
Thank you for your time, Melody. We'll be in touch later.
Oh, one more piece of information for you, if you'd like it. I've got the contact info for a Vincent Mensa, who I think might be
I do need somewhere to go next.
Vincent was working more closely with Hayden inside Parallax, mostly on his company-approved research on data collating algorithms for the mesh. I'll send him a message and ask him to meet you somewhere. He owes me a favor anyway, and might be able to give you some more information on anything else Hayden may have been working on.
All right.
That would be fantastic, Melody. Perhaps Golden Gate Park.
Be careful, Turing. I don't like Fairlight's stench all over this scenario. Don't show him too many of your cards.
I feel like did turn up in our hospital room,
Cards?
seemingly out of the blue.
This euphemism is unfamiliar to me.
Don't tell him anything if you can. Fairlight is more dangerous the more he's informed.
Thank you, Aunt Melody. Wish us luck.
Yeah, anyway. Alright. Save. Sorry. Clearing my throat there. Bit of a cough. Alright. Save. Alright. Will I have enough characters to say Vincent? Hey, done. Alright. Yeah, leave. Out of there. Oh, and then we'll have a heart-to-heart? No? Okay, cool. Let's go to GG Park. Oh, hey. You've never seen this person, and they appear to be waiting for somebody. Well, I'm guessing it's me. Perhaps this is who you're supposed to meet? Let's find out.
Can I help you? I don't really have time to talk. I'm waiting for someone.
Are you Vincent Mensa? We're here for a meeting on behalf of Melody Flores.
Who apparently requested some incredible saxophone in the background. Just to really set the tone.
Oh, good. You're Melody's people. Do you have everything that I asked for?
Oh.
There must be some miscommunication.
Oh, okay. Is Turing about to get snatched?
Melody said that you would be able to provide us with some information about Hayden Weber's projects within Parallax. He has gone missing, and any information we get may be useful.
Damn that old woman.
What?
We had a deal. She promised me, and I'm not giving up anything until I get what I need. I already know Hayden is missing. Why else would I be willing to sell corporate secrets to Flower? This was my chance to get out of the city. Instead, she sends the two of you, hat in hand with nothing. I'm assuming you're Hayden's little pet AI?
I mean, that's interesting, but why would Melody do that? What has she got to gain apart from, unless she just wants to dick Vincent around?
Insulting, but accurate.
Turing,
I'm sorry to come off callous. I do want to help.
Turing, you need to stop being forthright about how AI you are.
Hayden was a colleague and a friend, and I want to know he's okay. But I also need help getting the hell out of Neo SF, and now. My info is my leverage, and it's not for free. I'll just have to find another buyer. Maybe after I make another deal, I'll be able to pass it to you.
Perhaps we could assist you? My friend here is a terrific journalist. Being skilled at hunting down people and information is part of the job.
I don't know. Look, I need 100,000 credits, an untraceable car, and a fake passport for me and my wife, Francesca. If you can get me all that, I'll give you anything you want. Hayden's research notes, what I know about Parallax, my company's security credentials, whatever. If you're really sure journals can come up with that kind of stuff in one day.
Alright, that's the quest.
Right? Dear God, I'm doomed.
Yeah, answer some questions.
Melody only gave us a rough sketch of what you need. The more you can tell us about the situation, the sooner we can fulfill your request.
Did Melody
Sure.
give us a sketch
As
about
long as
what
it isn't the
Vincent
juicy
needs at
stuff.
all? Sure, whatever. What do you do for Parallax?
I'm the head applications engineer for their data analysis division. Or maybe was, is what I should be saying. If Hayden is the big brain who comes up with the math that runs the search algorithms, I'm the guy who figures out how to collect and apply the data that we get. We've worked pretty closely for years, but he's head and shoulders above me as far as theory goes. Hayden built a fully independent machine intelligence in his spare time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash myself here. I'm a good software engineer, probably one of the best.
Sure.
But machine intelligence? In a form factor like yours? Now that blows my mind. We've got full immersion, virtual reality, yet most people would still call you science fiction.
If you say so.
Why are you so adamant about
Because
getting out
Parallax
of
is
Neo SF?
rotting from the inside out. Hayden going missing is the last straw, and it's a big-ass straw.
The size
There
of the
is...
straw.
How do I put this without giving it away? There's a new project about to roll out, and it's going to change everything about how Parallax does their business worldwide.
It's
Since
a gun
the
that
launch
shoots
of
smaller
MeshNet,
guns.
we've had some board shakeups, and the people at the top are different from the ones who've previously run the company. The altruism the company displayed in the past is gone. They're harder, more ruthless, and more concerned with profits and power than ever before.
Also, being a company, they probably weren't terribly altruistic in the first place?
Not just richest company in the valley power either. Real power. My guess? Parallax got rid of Hayden because he was about to do something that would get in the way of that. If they're willing to get rid of the brightest mind on their payroll, what's to stop them from getting rid of me? There's a half dozen people who could do my job. So I'm getting out before I accidentally step on the wrong person's toes and end up at the bottom of the bay.
Wait, so if there's a half dozen people that could do your job, does that mean that you're good or bad? Does that mean that you're replaceable or irreplaceable and They already got rid of an irreplaceable person, so they should just keep doing that. What do you know about Hayden?
Nothing concrete. I probably wouldn't have noticed anything out of the ordinary. I mean, Hayden goes out for a couple days all the time, right? Conferences and guest teaching. He doesn't exactly share his itinerary with me. I tried asking around and no one will say anything. If he had jumped ship, went to a different company, it would be the talk of the week at the water coolers. Instead, dead silence. Thankfully, he allowed me to keep backups of most of his work, simply because I cross-referenced it so much. He didn't like having it all in one place anyway. Bring me what I asked for, and I'll tell you more.
Okay.
Sure. I guess I can stick around here for a while. I need to make some calls anyway. If you do manage to get what I need, bring it here today and you'll get anything you want. Forwarding photos and info for the passports to Turing now. And I really hope you can do this. I'd rather give it to you than some other corporation anyway. See you soon.
What a weird plot point.
I'm not quite sure where to get fake passports or an untraceable car. The only shady folks we know are those punks who vandalized Hayden's apartment. I doubt they could point us in the right direction, but a long shot is better than no shot. They might agree to help us in repayment for the damage done to the apartment. They seemed remorseful. We should check Market Street for them, in case they regularly hang out there. As for the rest, perhaps Dr. Fairlight or Melody could spot us the credits. That certainly is no small amount, but is unlikely to cause much consternation for either of them, assuming they are as dedicated to helping as they claim. Melody is assumably home as usual, and Fairlight did let us know he'd be at the hospital. We could ask either of them for assistance.
Okay, so there's a branching choice there.
Up to you to decide which would be a better course of action.
I mean, the money would presumably get the untraceable car and presumably fund the passport as well, right? Passport costs, I'm guessing, more than I have? Cat does Twitch. Are they going to spray paint a passport? That would be great. No, they're going to, it's not going to be on small scale. You have to understand, they're going to spray paint a mural that is itself a passport, and then that will contain a QR code, and you take a photo of the QR code, and then you use that at the airport, the space airport, from the future, and you get to travel. It's all so simple. Alright, let's save this game. Fetch quest. Fetch quest. Fetch quest. I'll know what I meant. Next week. I won't know what I meant. That's fine. Continue. Alright. Let's map it up. I think asking for... Oh, hello. Okay, so we have Flower Mansion, we have the hospital, and we have Market Square, where the punks were. I feel like... So, Turing mentioned punks, then plutocrats, and I'm gonna go plutocrats first, because punks were... Well, I mean, I'm gonna need money, right? I would rather get the money first and then go get passports, rather than try and get passports and be told, oh hey, by the way, this actually costs money. I mean, they said they were remorseful, but like, this is a big ask. Were they really that remorseful? Crafty Devious, you should be okay with saves if you make sure that you save after all the fetch questing is done, but before telling Vincent about it. Aha, okay. Cat Does Twitch votes Fairlight. Yeah, actually, what do people in chat think? So, I'm personally inclined towards Melody, simply because I'm tired. She hung shade on him, and I'm like, man, he sounds like a real piece of shit. And so my first instincts were like, yeah, I'll just go back to her and just, you know, trust her for this moment. I mean, that's not deep reasoning, it's not necessarily good reasoning, it's just what I feel like doing as a player right now. And I haven't seen Fairlight in ages. It's been many, many sessions since we met him. And he seemed friendly and forthcoming enough. It was strange that we met him completely coincidentally, but this whole game has been a, you know, complete haphazard mess of weird coincidences overlapping. Place of Old votes Melody. Crafty votes Melody. So we've got 2 Melodies and 1 Fairlight. Cat does twitch. She has a slave bear. And Crafty Devious saying, yeah, she's bad. Let's punish her financially. Yeah. That's all reasonable. I mean, she's also the one that sent Vincent to the park with the promise of money. This is really just getting her to pay up with what she lied to him about in the first place, right? They already have a pre-existing relationship. True, I'm sure Melody would prefer Fairlight to pay for it, and maybe that's what Melody was vying for. But then that is an interesting conversation to sort of try and strong-arm her into, you know. Yeah. Oh, we've got 3 votes Melody. Alright. We're doing it. Cat does twitch, you are all the worst. Look, the mob has spoken. We're the mob in this context.
Hello, Pat. Could we see Melody?
I'm gonna be honest, I just wanted to see the bear again. Oh, wow.
I guess that means yes?
Alright, pay up. Give us that money.
Turing, I'm not saying I don't like seeing your little pixelated face. You're certainly better company than most
That
of
is
the
something
humans
coming
I
from
have
someone
to
who is
deal
also
with.
incredibly pixelated.
But I am a busy woman, you know? Lots to do.
I don't know. Nope, I don't believe you.
Right, Pat? Traitor.
Okay.
Anyway, maybe we should space these little visits out a good bit further. Familiarity breeds contempt,
Am I
after
gonna get
all.
kicked out for not trying to do the passport first?
And I'm very good at contempt.
I apologize, Aunt Melody. You've stated before that you like your peace and quiet, but we need your assistance.
Cash money.
Oh, we're running with the aunt thing, are we? Another woman would tell you not to butter her up, but oh, flattery will get you everywhere with me. All right, what do you need?
I mean, look, I agree, Cat does twitch. This Melody here is the worst. I agree. I completely agree.
I can only imagine.
And that's why ripping money out of her pocket seems
If
pretty
he's
sweet.
willing to turn coat on Parallax, I bet he feels like a mouse in a cat farm. I know they don't actually farm cats, Pat. It was a metaphor.
This dialogue.
Whatever, it was a simile then.
I'm so done with this genre of conversation.
I am not going to play semantics with you.
No, just me. The person who has to press X over
Moving
and over
on.
again to get through this.
Tell me what the trouble is, and I'll try to conjure up a solution.
We're going to need to pay for the information. I'm glad you're willing to help us clean up your mess. Damn, no. Let's go with the butter option.
Mr. Mensa says he needs 100,000 credits before he's willing to speak openly. He also said that you already promised it to him, and that he won't be able to get out of the city without it.
Turing, can you also ask for the car and the passport?
He'll give us the information once we have that, plus a few other things I'm certain we can get on our own.
Well, why are you certain? Oh. The things that this game asks me to do and the situations it puts me in are often just so... they feel really poorly thought out. Why aren't we asking her for the car and the passport?
Money? Your friend's not much of a journalist, eh, Turing?
According to the statistics that I have found, it is unlikely that a journalist of any caliber less than the best would have that amount of liquid assets on hand. The pay for the profession just isn't that high, Aunt Melody.
Look, Cat Does Switch brings up a good point. We could have been talking to Fairlight. We could have very different content right now. It's true. It's true. I think the moral choice of ripping off Weird Old Lady, or ripping money out of her pocket, does unfortunately trump the content thing, if only because this game has a moral system. You know, it does punish/reward choices. And we're already trusting her at this point.
Oh, I see. I guess it's one of those jobs people do because they get free review merchandise, eh?
I'm right here, haha. I could always sell... Nope, I'm not even going to read that out.
I can get you the money, Turing. But only because you're family. Just give Pat a few minutes to gather it. Yeah, just keep moving, you big brute. While we wait, is there anything else you want to grill me over?
While Pat swims in that money bin like Carl Barks drew it.
Might as well save us both another visit.
Maybe Turing has something to ask. How smart is Pat really? Seems a little sad that you're all alone except for a bear. Yeah, Turing, you ask some questions.
I do. It's a little personal, though. I'd understand if you didn't feel like answering.
Just shoot, Turing. I can take it.
Long ago, you lost your mother. I was wondering, how did you deal with it? Hayden's only been gone for a few days, and I already feel like my circuits are going to lock up for good.
Oh, Turing, I'm not the right person to ask.
I killed and ate my mother.
I hated my mother. She's everything
She was very
I thought
stringy.
wrong in the world, and when she was gone, I felt nothing but relief that I could start undoing the damage she did. Never mind the fact I had to watch her waste away from the cancer. Death was a blessing for us both. Besides, you'll find Hayden soon. Keep your chin up.
Oh,
You'll find Hayden's corpse soon.
blast it! Enough with this subterfuge! We already know Hayden was killed.
Oh, no.
I won't be getting him back.
I just don't remember how we
I'm
know that
sorry,
he was
Turing.
dead.
I still don't know what to tell you.
Here's a passport and an unmarked car.
I've lost people, but never anyone close enough to wound me. I don't know that I've ever had anyone close enough to do that. If you feel like talking about it, I'm willing to listen.
Oh, Crafty Devious, Tomcat and Turing saw the video of his murder. Right, okay, cool.
Or make Pat do it anyway.
Thank you. I don't know.
Stick it out. Time heals all wounds. Or so they say.
Oh,
This too shall pass.
or so they say. Alright, how smart is Pat?
Smarter than I give him credit for, that's for sure. It's not the easiest thing in the world to measure, you know?
Oh, yeah. We
He
have
doesn't
no
process
fucking
language
idea.
in the same way humans do, and even if he can understand me, my translation program just guesses at what he says most of the time.
Oh, you have a translator running from your neural implant.
Ah, yes, I'm cheating. Though, honestly, Even without it, I have a pretty good idea of what he means most of the time.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
We've been together for a while now. Considering it only really works on large, typically predatory mammals, we don't have a lot of test subjects. It's a minefield of ethical concerns beyond just being prohibitively expensive. So Pat is a bear apart. At least until we can figure out how to apply the modified neural pathways without frying the brains of 90% of the subjects.
Ah. You killed like 9 bears to get Pat?
The tech we developed is good. It just has a damned high mortality rate. Maybe one day there will be a bunch of talking tigers and dolphins building cities in the sea, but for now, we're stuck with creating beasts out of our own species.
Do we think dolphins want to build cities? They seem pretty pleased with what they're already doing. It seems a little sad that you're all alone except for a bear.
Being alone is easier, and Pat isn't such bad company. I mean, what do you want me to do? Cry about never having a husband, a few kids, and a white picket fence?
I didn't ask you to do that.
I had a company
it was
to
a very
run,
judgmental
and
line.
my mother's legacy to fix.
The whole "aren't you lonely" thing. I mean, that's already a shitty line, and I possibly just shouldn't have clicked it. Because, you know, loneliness is inherently subjective, you know. She clearly isn't. Or, I mean, she might be, but, you know, the question was very presumptuous.
What's to say some spawn of mine wouldn't do the exact same thing to my flower, just the other way around? This branch of the Flores line
Yeah, I'm
will
starting to
do
regret
well
asking this
without
question.
any more knives being inserted in backs. Thank you very much.
Well, the bear's already fetching the
You
money,
have
so...
that much enmity for your mother?
Have you seen what she did to North Korea? It's a wasteland of death and destruction.
Right.
If we had kept going down the path she charted, the whole world would be like that.
Also, also, North Korea's a wasteland. Like, also, she clearly
The
killed
information on the
quite a lot
mesh
of people.
does seem to paint a grim picture.
Like, fuck what might have happened. She did a bad thing.
Grim
Shifting that
barely
focus was a
scratches
terrible
the
writing
surface. I've been there. At least under the Kims, it was barely functional. Now, my mother's monsters have ripped every last resemblance of humanity from the land. They stalk the night like horrific creatures of legend, keeping the populace in line through constant fear. A horror story straight out of the pages of Bram Stoker.
Yeah, this sounds
That's
like
her legacy.
This is a horror wank that is skipping over the actual humanitarian crisis that it is evoking, and it's trying to get away with it because it's a country that culturally we're meant to not give a shit about or dislike or look down on, and that's fucking piss poor writing.
So I can't
That's
imagine
gross.
I'd be a very good mother, just from the example I have to work with.
You're a
That's
terrible
mine.
character.
I don't have any more regrets than anyone else my age does. My
That-
legacy
that's
will speak
incredibly
for
rich.
itself, as my mother's.
Yeah, we're short on time.
Oh, just in time then. Take the cash and get moving.
Cat does Twitch. I'm sure the cities would have a porpoise. Ah! Strong form. Strong form. Oh yeah, Place of Old. There's no explicit mention of having sex with the bear, but it's entirely possible. It is entirely possible. I wouldn't put it past the writers, which means we can't put it past her. Yeah, this has been a real enlightening conversation in a lot of really awful ways. Briefcase added to
I
items,
can
all right.
finally get back to whatever it was I was doing before you burst in here.
Thank you, Aunt Melody. Your help has been invaluable to us.
Oh, sorry, good round boy. This has a real rich white person gives zero shits about anything that doesn't inconvenience her, feel, and is therefore really super racist. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yes, yes.
Not great.
Brown nose later.
It's not great.
You've got things to do too.
I mean, it is a... Yeah, it's in line with the genre, but that then exposes that that is a problem within the genre. Because, you know, the cyberpunk genre does deal with the corporate figure. And expanding upon that, and they're typically larger than life in a lot of ways, because they, you know, represent their corporation functionally as a character. And they're typically evil. But she is not so much evil as just... she just sucks. I'm too tired to go into deep detail, but God, does she just suck. Alright. Alright. I'm going to save again. So that's fetch quest. Let's go fetch quest 2. Save over this. So we'll go fat. Oh, nope, that's not right. That's not right at all. Go. Alright. And continue. Leave! Take me from this place.
I did not think I would feel such a strong resonance with Melody.
Oh no.
We're connected by the barest of threads, but she is already important to me.
Oh shit.
Is that strange?
We found out a lot from talking to her. Morally, it was good to take the money from her. It was very informative. It is super unfortunate that what has happened is there's been this sort of imprinting on Turing, such that Turing is like, Melody's actually great. And we in the audience are screaming and throwing popcorn at the screen. Maybe you're both lonely, there are stranger things. What about you is normal? Well, the what about you is normal is the dickhead option, so I'm not choosing that. I got it, yeah,
Very possible. I guess there's nothing to do but run with it. Some gifts are too valuable to look at too closely, lest they vanish into thin air, and I already have a penchant for overanalyzing things.
Yeah, you can
Let's
feel
get
how much
moving.
the writer likes Melody. Such a
We still
shame.
have things to do before we can meet back up with Mr. Mensa.
It will be satisfying then if Melody is as evil as she seems now, and or at least the evilness that we see in her is borne out in the plot as opposed to validated, and then Turing can be like, no, because that's actually a good character moment that I would like to see play out. Because we can say, I told you so. From afar. Okay. To the map. To the map, to the map.
Detective Rivers, to
Oh.
what do we owe the pleasure?
We're being detectived upon.
I wanted to check in with you away from the prying eyes of my corporate masters.
Wow, blunt.
It wasn't too hard to track you down here. Only took a slight abuse of power to follow your credit transactions in the AutoCAD system.
Were you able to find anything out?
Not much. Listen,
I don't remember
I've
what
hit
you
a
were
dead
trying to
end
find
on
out.
the investigation again, and I could really use another lead from the two of you. I had been busy hunting down I'm not sure if I want to call him a soldier of fortune or an assassin for hire. Either way, I tracked this guy down to see if he might have been hired by Parallax to snatch Hayden, but he's got an ironclad alibi for the relevant period of time. That leaves me with nothing. Nada. Jack diddly shit. Do the two of you have anything to give me? Otherwise, I'm back to hunting down the froyo-hating robot ghost in the park. At least my superiors would be ecstatic, considering how much they keep riding my ass about it.
It's occurring to me that if this had been handed to me as a novel, I would have kicked it through a window by now. Because this dialogue, I can't stand it. It being read out by people helps. It does actually help, but having to read it and process it with my own internal voice is so much worse. Makes me wonder if there's got to be other viewable media that I've tolerated, or perhaps even liked, that if it had been even written in, like, read in script form, I would have just, yeah, kicked it through a window, defenestrated it. Yeah.
We're on thin leads ourselves, Detective Rivers. We have a meeting with someone from inside Parallax who might be able to give us answers, but he's unlikely to want to talk to the police. I just wish this... Never mind.
Feelings.
I wish this was easier too. But with detective work, sometimes it's not about being clever. It's just about being more dogged and relentless than whoever you're chasing.
And following a linear plot.
You two are my new deputies, right? So keep your nose to the ground and keep digging. I still have a few contacts I can hit up to try finding out a little more. You let me know if there's anything else I need to be going after.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Just
So I'll be touching
going.
base with you in the next act, I
Don't
presume.
forget, if you die, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Right, so I'm
Okay,
assuming
then.
that
We
interaction would
only
have
have a
happened
single lead.
here or in the hospital, depending on where, like, either way.
If Parallax really is as shady as Vincent seems to suspect, it could end up very interesting. Let's see if we can put an end to this. Finally. Oh, I just received an email from Tomcat.
Oh.
They finished decrypting Hayden's data cache.
Oh, apparently they were doing
It
that.
seems that it was filled mostly with his personal logs about my creation and mental development. The more technical information was already scraped. Perhaps that is why it was left behind when they snatched him.
Like an eggshell.
Still, these files should be enlightening, if only in a personal way. I'll peruse them in my spare time and let you know if I find anything interesting. I'd hate
Sure.
for all the trouble we went to be for nothing.
Me too. Alright. Mappity map, map, map. So we're going to go troublesome youths and assume they're just going to hand over what we want. Yeah, we've talked to this dude enough. Are these the youths? Oliver and... yeah! Oliver and Starfucker, that's right, because somebody's listened to some Nine Inch Nails. And let me tell you who hasn't. Alright. Let's chat.
Oh, crap! It's that reporter in the bot again! Cheese it, Ollie!
Hold on a moment! We're just here to ask the two of you for a favor. You don't need to run again.
Heh! I knew you didn't have the guts to mess with me!
Guts?
What are guts?
And why would we want to help you?
We did trash that apartment, Chad.
Yeah? So?
We also didn't report you to the police for it.
Yeah? So?
And they still could.
Oh. Alright, well, spill it then. I ain't got all day. Can't you see me and Oliver are busy?
We need some assistance with some illicit activity that, statistically, individuals in your age bracket are likely to have experience with.
Oh! So this is one of those things where you need a streetwise kid to show you the ropes. So, what's the thread? B&E? War driving? Copyright infringement? Search bombing?
Is search bombing actually illegal?
It's against the terms of service, so probably, at least in California.
We need to buy some fake IDs today, if possible. Just introduce us to whoever at your school does IDs. I'm gonna be. I've been
Well, that's
consistently
nothing,
nice for a
if you
while,
can
and I'm just
pay.
gonna stick with it.
Ollie can whip up a couple that'll work good enough to get you past a bouncer or a cop doing sniff tests. He's a wizard with a printer and a lifted wallet.
Oh, you guys still have wizards?
It's
That's cool.
more complicated than that. We need falsified passports that can get 2 people past the border safely.
Oh, yeah, I don't think Ollie can do that. Can you?
Not without equipment a lot more expensive and illegal than what I already have.
What about that guy who got at least that unrestricted mesh card when she was on probation?
Cat does Twitch. James just lost his shit at Starfucker. That's good to know. It's good to know.
That's not really the same thing, Chad. But it wouldn't hurt to give him a call. Give me a few minutes. This guy is pretty sketchy, very cloak and dagger. I'll have to play middleman.
Excellent. I'll forward you the relevant documents and photos.
Oh man, now I'm starting to feel left out. Ollie gets to show off all his cool connections.
Oh, my teen feelings.
You sure you don't need someone's head kicked in a little? That's my area of expertise in our little duo. Well, that and petty larceny.
We might have something that will suit your skill set. Let's just get the passports first, if you can stay calm for that long.
Oh, so we're gonna have him boost a car for us.
You sure yap a lot more than any of the ROMs I've ever owned. What's the deal? You install some new conversation routines Ollie ain't had the chance to nerd out about yet? Well, they're top notch. Very bleeding edge.
I don't run traditional ROM VI personality software.
I worry that I would have written this dialogue a decade ago.
I am, in
That's
fact,
what scares
the
me.
first fully sapient machine intelligence. Well, at least that I know about.
Which means what exactly? In English?
It means he's a person, Chad, not a toy. Now keep it down. I'm still on the phone.
Oops. And yes, what he said.
Yeah, can you stop announcing in the street that you're
Well,
self-aware?
that's awesome. You ain't so bad. For a tin can.
Tin can? Really? I'm composed almost entirely out of plasteel and silica. Has no one come up with better insults for robots since the turn of the century? ROMs have been out for almost 2 decades.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point, writer.
Give me a sec. I'm pretty good at name calling too.
Oh no, don't. That was not a challenge.
Oh no, I'm sorry I brought it up.
Just hold on a second. Underclocked? Oh,
Don't hurt yourself.
I'll get back to you, Bubble.
Okay, I talked to the guy. He said he'll do it, but he only works in trade. A couple of passports are gonna run us... one signed poster for Magical Commander Yukino? Yukino at the Gates to the Deep?
So not money?
Course. It's always that Japanese crap.
It's not my fault they make the best VR dramas. Maybe you can do better?
Probably.
Anyway, where can we get a poster like that?
I'm not sure. Probably nearby.
Yeah, down at the corner in the cafe.
I've done switches with this guy before, and he never asks for something that'll take too long to get. My guess is he's a local that uses people like us as a way to nab something he's had his eye on. We'll help you look for it.
Chad and Oliver joined your party? That's the worst news in the world. Oh my god. Alright. 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 It just is in here.
Oh, there it is!
Yep. Granted, I knew that from all the pixel hunting I did before, so...
I knew I saw a poster for Magical Commander Yukino somewhere around here. I should have remembered Ramona had one.
You know this lady?
Sure. We talk sometimes when I'm getting our drinks. You're usually too busy provoking people to notice.
You call it provoking. I call it spontaneous enthusiasm for healthy rivalry.
I'm an iconoclast.
There's a bit of a line. We'll have to wait a few minutes before we can talk to her.
Oh, okay, good.
We could just do a smash and grab. Simple and effective.
We can't do that! She knows who we are!
Us too.
This is the
Also,
most
no, we're not
boring
doing that.
felony I've ever been an accessory to.
Look, we'll just stand in line.
Like a bunch of clumps? Chumps? What is the big picture anyway, Blue Bomber?
I'm not sure it's wise to spread it around, Chad. For either of us, the less you know, the less reason anyone has to bother you.
Screw that, Static. I'm not heading to juvie not knowing what for. Spill the beans, or I'll spill them for you.
Your persistence is already legendary, Chad. Fine. If you really must know, we are going to trade the passports for some information regarding the disappearance of my
Why?
creator.
Oh, Turi.
His apartment was the one you trashed.
Oh shit, that Hayden dude is your dad? And they snatched him? Oh, that's so messed up.
I have feelings too.
Well, Dad,
In amongst the anger
he
and
raised me.
hair gel.
Man, I hope you find the dudes that took him. I hope he's okay.
It seems very unlikely.
Oh man, I don't know what to say, you know? I mean, I still have my dad, but he's never really been around. Too busy trying to save the world from itself. Even now, he's over there standing in front of that damn clinic.
Oh.
And
right.
I thought I could find a way to make him...
His dad is fascist Roy Orbison.
Whatever. I might as well nuke that drive. It ain't gonna sink.
No.
I think I understand what you mean, Chad.
Hell yeah! Dudes gotta stick together, you know?
Dudes?
Don't matter if you're a robot or what. We all got the same shit to deal with. Gotta grab destiny by the horns and make your own mark!
From the mouth of babes, you're smarter than you look, Chad. Pretty open-minded for a kid who tags for the H. I'm just... whatever. None of these matter. Nothing
won't
matters.
fault you on good taste, but watch that whole babe thing. I'm taken, and I don't need no game being spit my way.
That's not... Never mind. Oh, the line has finally cleared up. Let's go talk to Ramona.
Let's do that immediately and nothing else.
Hey, Allie!
Salutations, Ramona.
What can I do for you all?
Ahem.
Oh, this is my friend, Chad.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
We were hoping you might be able to give us your assistance, Ms. Rogers.
We want to make a trade for that magical Commander Yukino poster over there. It's necessary for us to get some pretty important information.
No way! Not happening. Nuh-uh. Yukino is off limits.
Literally a matter of life and death. You can get another, it'll only take a few days. I guess we push for the life and death?
How does life and death depend on a nerdy poster? Look, I don't even care. That poster was signed by Takeko herself. It's one of a kind, and I'm not giving it up.
I'd rather not drag you any further into this than necessary, but I promise that we're not overstating it. This is a dire situation, and people have already died.
Jeez. Look, whatever you're doing sounds sketch as hell. I and Magical Commander Yukino herself want no part in it.
Smart. I don't blame
I don't
you.
even see how the poster can help.
Man, you nerds sure do love your cheap crap from the net.
Cheap crap! I'll have you know, that poster is worth hundreds of credits. Maybe more.
This is why we should have asked for money. I
Takeko
don't...
passed away years ago, so there aren't any more of them getting signed. It's special.
Sure it is.
He doesn't get it. He's not in the fandom.
Thankfully.
Why would it only take another few days if the person's already dead?
It's not just a poster. It was a gift from someone. Someone I care about, okay? Besides, you can't get another one. Takeko passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, I know, but the dialogue tree didn't.
Perhaps there's something else that would make a suitable trade?
You aren't hearing me, are you? It has sentimental value. You can't replace that.
Do I seriously have to
Look,
just steal it?
you'll just have to order something off the mesh, because you can't have this one.
Oh, we don't have time. This lead will dry up by then.
Keep me out of this.
Well, I'm not gonna do the smash. I'm not gonna do the smash and grab. I'm not doing that. I refuse. I refuse. This isn't a joke.
Okay, enough. How about this for a trade? I have an original keyframe cell from Pretty Champion Sailor Sirius, signed by Takeko at home.
Whoa! You have a signed Sailor Sirius cell? That's super rare! They stopped doing keyframes by hand right around the time of her death.
I don't care.
You can't be serious, Ollie. You have that thing framed on your wall. And you wouldn't shut up about it for a week after you got it.
This is important, Chad. You can't say you wouldn't do the same thing if someone had your dad. Think about Turing. I can't ask Ramona to give up something important to her if I'm not willing to do the same.
Maybe.
Look, okay, I don't know what's going on, but you can't give me that cell for the poster.
But we need...
Yeah, you'll get the poster. Whatever you're doing, it must be really important if you'd be willing to give that up. Do you have something more equal to trade, Ollie?
A couple of things, maybe.
We'll talk about it then. Maybe you can find me another one, too. Go ahead and take the poster.
Alright.
Thank you, Ramona.
Good to know I'm always one dialogue tree away from ripping something massively sentimentally valuable from the hands of someone I've met twice.
Yes! I can't tell you how much it means to us, Ms. Rogers.
Sure. And, you think I could see that cell sometime, Ollie?
Of course! I'll bring it over when we talk about the trade.
So cool.
And out. Leave!
I don't like the way she was flirting with you, Ollie.
What are you talking about?
I know flirting when I see it, and I'm saying I don't like it. Not one bit.
We just talk about old anime sometimes, Chad. Neither of us are interested in the other.
Sure.
Well, we have the poster now. What's next?
Go ahead and call this number, Turing. He'll want to set up the drop with you, now that I've introduced you to him.
Sure. Change the subject.
I'll call him right now then. It's ringing.
You the ones looking for some papers?
We are, and we have the requested payment.
Good. We're gonna do this real professional-like. You know Stardust?
I do.
Head there. Leave the poster behind the Megaphobator arcade cabinet, and get out. Come back 10 minutes later, and your stuff will be behind the machine.
Alright, complex instructions. We're gonna have to do this before we close out the stream. I was hoping to just be done with this and then deal with this later, but I will forget in a week.
I
We'll
understand.
do it now!
Good. I'll be waiting.
Well, that was very mysterious.
Yeah, that's how this guy is. I don't even know his name, and I've been getting things from him for a few years now.
Who cares? Let him play Spy Master if he wants. Let's hurry up to Stardust and get this over with. I've wasted enough of my day with this crap.
You said it. Alright.
Go inside to make the drop. We'll wait out here.
Yeah. Don't want to get our IDs taken.
I suppose I should feign surprise.
Hey, it's a pretty cool set. Even if it is like 1,000,000 years old.
They don't really care about the IDs unless you try to hit the bar.
Found that one out the hard way.
We would have been fine if you hadn't taken a swing at the bouncer.
So I like the hard way.
We'll be right back, gentlemen. Try not to set the building on fire while we're gone.
Press the button, turn the page. Press the button, turn the page.
No security right now?
Hi guys, bye guys. Nope, 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 nope. Where are we? Megaphobator, okay. Item. Poster.
Well, that should do it. That was an awful lot of fuss over a poster. I just don't understand the appeal of merchandise like this. I keep my important possessions on my data drive.
Ho ho ho. Humans don't have total recall like you do. It's a nice looking poster. And some crap. I mean, this in and of itself is an interesting point. It's a shame that it's coming up now while I'm tired and extremely brain foggy. But, yeah, this does line up with the idea that if you had a, completely algorithmic, abstract symbol-based personality, that it wouldn't value physical items because it itself is a, it has escaped physical items mentally. Or is not weighed down by them or what have you, right?
Ah, that is true. Ramona seemed more concerned with it being a gift from a friend than as an item of importance in its own right. Perhaps it is necessity to keep such things around as tokens from better times. Perhaps I should pick up a few things from the apartment. Whatever's left. I do have perfect recall, but a few of Hayden's things would be nice reminders.
That you just said you don't need.
Memories are better for remembering than reading. But that's enough navel-gazing.
Yeah, navel-gazing while trying to be both human and computer and fucking up the entire thing because, can't bridge that gap conceptually.
Let's head back outside so our benefactor can make the trade.
It's going to be someone we know. It's going to be... who's it going to be? Is it going to be Jess? Or is it going to be one of these delightful gents? Majid or Gus? That's my guess. One of those
Y'all do
three.
the deal?
How did it go?
We left the poster behind the cabinet. Now we just need to wait for the switch.
I've never had to wait more than 5 minutes or so before. It shouldn't take long.
Oh, Crafty Devious ping? Is that a ping to save?
I wonder how he knows the drop happened, and gets to it so fast.
Don't matter.
So I've missed
this guy's
it.
a solid feed,
Well, not, you know.
even if he likes to mess around.
What do you need these passports for anyway? You said to trade for information.
Oh, Combi's question.
What's the full story?
Right. We have a Combi. Hello. Yes, welcome. Let me have a read through chat. Oh, Combi asking some apart from LAX, how was your trip? Yeah, my trip was really good. The conference was really good. My presentation went well. People liked it. I did not get the sort of feedback I was digging for. So as a PhD student, you know, it is germane to go to a conference and be like, hey, so this is my presentation, this is my research, but I'm a student, I'm still in process. Please, if there's anything I've missed or if there's any suggestions or extra routes I can take, please let me know. And nobody did, which either means that I was presenting to people who weren't savvy in the field, or I nailed it. Either way, I got lots of great notes from other people's presentations, so it wasn't a complete wash, obviously given the cost of the trip, both physically and fiscally. But yeah, no, it was overall it was really good. It was a nice last hurrah in conference town for a while. I will do other conferences later, I hope, but not for some time. Again, money is a thing, and also, yeah, I got to focus on other stuff. But no, it was very productive, and it was equal parts entertaining and weird to return to North America. And Canada, you know, was nice. It was aggressively North American, but it was nice. Yeah.
Without going into too much detail, our informant needs to get out of Neo SF unnoticed. The passports are one part of that. We also need to obtain an untraceable car. I don't suppose the two of you could help with that?
I still don't know why we didn't ask Clue to
No
crash.
way, dude! Grand Theft Auto is a felony with a capital F! Besides, getting an untraceable car ain't in the same league as a piece of plastic that'll fool a hand scanner.
Chad's right.
Of course I'm right.
The city's traffic management system keeps track of all vehicles passively, even if you manage to circumvent their firmware and keep them from actively reporting to the network.
The writers spent so much time working on intricate details like this, and really strange and sometimes terrible dialogue diversions, more than they thought about why hasn't this come up earlier. Like, I was told I needed 3 things. This is a game in which, it's a game, purportedly. So if I'm given a list of 3 things, these are 3 things I want to be addressing mentally. It only gave me avenues for 2 of them. Third one's only come up now. And the passport and the untraceable car could surely have been handled by one of the incredibly rich people I was asked to talk to. Like, it's just glaringly, obviously strange.
You have to spoof the car as something permitted to be invisible for the CTOS to ignore it.
Yeah, all of this thought down these strange alleyways.
The junks run that racket in Neo SF, and they don't play nice.
Especially with the HR.
Well, thank you either way. You've both done us a huge favor.
But did the
Call
law...
it even for the apartment.
Did the law for the world come first and then the game afterwards?
Yeah, Blue. No hard feelings.
Maybe changes were made? Maybe gameplay changes were made? That could be it. So I have heard that one of the difficulties of writing in video games is that you'll write a thing and then gameplay will change and then the narrative will change necessarily, and sometimes you just have to patch something in quick and dirty and it doesn't make heaps of sense, but too bad the game comes first. But in this game, the narrative is king. Largely, I'm just pressing X to go to the next.
You give us a call if you need anything else.
Moment.
Long as it'll help you find your pops.
And it can't have even been a dialogue thing because I think the original version of this game didn't have recorded dialogue, it was just text. which can be flipped around as needed, particularly when you're not doing unique animations or anything like that either.
We should get going, though. We were supposed to be home hours ago.
My dad won't notice, but Ollie's will flip. You take care. Don't get de-rezzed.
See ya.
Goodbye.
You guys need to talk about and define your relationship. Bye.
Let's finish the trade inside.
Cat does Twitch. This dialogue is making me zone. Yeah, I've got the controller and I feel like I'm gonna pass out. But I'm the one I have to keep pressing X. Like, I can't afford to zone. I have to get through it as quickly as possible without skipping so fast that it becomes discordant and you guys miss something. I'm gonna save and we're gonna stop. So, let's hit save. Let's grab a spot. Let's grab this spot. Let's call it Fetch Quest 3. Return to the fetch. Cool. And next week, / next stream, I should say. I want it to be next week, but let's say next stream because, you know, my health is a real thing. We will get the passport, somehow get a car, and then save, then go talk to Vincent. Then that will kick us into what sounds like the final act of the game, where we might actually have answers for these questions. That sounds pretty cool. It sounds like we might be able to knock it out next week, or next stream, if not the stream after that. It's nice to see what appears to be the end point. So this game has looped around itself quite a bit and just sort of faffed about in the dirt. And it would please me if it ended soon. Particularly because hopefully what we're doing next is returning to Soma and playing the basically the easy nerfed version where monsters don't hurt you. I think monsters is all present, but they don't wound you. So we can actually explore and finish Soma in a way that isn't bullshit. So we can actually cap off that game if I'm allowed to return to a previous save and change difficulty. That would be awesome. We also have the Talos Principle DLC, which I might Google and see if the plot is worthwhile. But also, I've heard that Detroit Become Human is incredibly problematic and strange and has huge issues. It is also a current, contemporary, out quite recently video game, so that is worth considering as well, among other things. But yes, it would be nice to move on to something that is not this. It has said some interesting stuff, but it has overstayed its welcome in a lot of ways. So yeah, but it was fun. It was a good time. I'm really, really glad that I did stream. As awful as that was at times, it's good to get back into it. I want to get back into the habit and keep some consistency in my streaming practices. Cat does Twitch. Can you please play Slay the Spire for fun? Is Slay the Spire anything to do with AI? That is my question to you. If it is not, I might play it for fun if I take a week off. You know, if I get in another game like this, want to stream and don't want to stream. I want to stream to have fun, but not stream to actually do anything worth the hats. But then it also depends on how much it costs. If cost is a barrier, then it is a maybe. But I'm up for suggestions. But typically, suggestions in the AI realm I'm more likely to land, shall we say. Roguelike. Yeah, see, I have a difficult relationship with roguelikes where I don't have the time much anymore to genuinely give roguelikes the time they require, because it's an iterative process, right? It's about playing the game repeatedly until you get it, you understand the game, and you get the right kind of feel for it, plus the right lucky roll to actually get through to some sort of pleasurable end state, or just to, you know, tick off various internal boxes, or play it until you get sick of it, or whatever. And I'm not capable of any of those things recreationally. So playing it once for a stream, again, if it's available for cheap and I feel like it at the time, maybe. But yeah, I can't promise anything, unfortunately. $15, that's not bad. Are we talking, is it on PlayStation? So that's the question. James said there's a robot. Well, there's a robot in a lot of things. That's not always going to cut it. If they don't interrogate the robot's consciousness in any way. Steam. Oh, early access. Yeah, no. So I do all of the streaming super lazy. This is all done through the PlayStation. I'm holding a PlayStation controller right now with the... it's not even a headset. It's a single fucking headphone cable that just has a little mic built in along, like a sort of lanyard mic along the way. And it's surprisingly good. I'm shocked that it works as well as it does. But this is how I stream, because it's super easy. I could do it on the Beast's laptop. We just haven't set it up yet. We haven't gone through the rigmarole of setting up any of the software and testing it out. There will come a time where there is a game that is essential on the computer that cannot be accessed via PS4, and at that point then I will stream. And once I've opened that door, that will allow, you know, changing it up perhaps. But for the moment, PlayStation is the easiest one. Look, I will give it a look. I will look at the game and I will see. And if I get around to it, and even if I stream it, I'll let you know. All right, guys. Oh, I am so done. It was good. It was fun. I'm lying. It was good. I don't know that it was fun, but we got to make fun at some really, really awful, the worst writing choices this game has made thus far. And it's made some questionable ones. It's made some cute ones. It's done some interesting stuff, but it's really showing its hand in terms of some of its positions on stuff, and that's upsetting, unfortunately. Particularly given the game is, you know, progressive in several other ways, but, you know, just because you tick some boxes doesn't mean you have ticked all of them. But also, unfortunately, almost nothing these days ticks all the boxes, so, yeah. At any rate, Artist Complex. Bye, guys!